her influence on how much money came back to the state is quantifiable, but is enormous. And her sort of role as a senior stateswoman in the Senate, who had an incredible amount of influence over how money was appropriated, and also how bills were crafted. And longevity is an important part of being in the Senate, and she was one of the longest serving members. And with that came a lot of influence. So Dianne Feinstein, now that she's passed away, unfortunately, Governor Gavin Newsom will appoint a person to replace her. She, the senator, the late senator, had already said she was not going to run for another term. So we have a large field of candidates running to replace her. Nothing about that will change. We have three prominent Democrats, Katie Porter, Adam Schiff, and Barbara Lee, all running. Adam Schiff and Katie Porter are sort of in the lead. And Gavin Newsom, like he has before with the other Senate seat, will get to appoint someone. He is committed already to appointing someone who will not run against those three, because the power of incumbency in a race like this is enormous. People vote often for the person who's already in the job. And the result of that is that a lot of people had pushed for one of the candidates who are running, who they support, to get this job. And Governor Newsom, a couple of years ago, had already committed to appointing a Black woman. When Kamala Harris became vice president, he appointed Alex Padilla to become the first Hispanic senator in California's history. The result of that, though, was that the U.S. Senate didn't have a Black woman serving. And so a lot of people were angered by that. And Gavin sort of promised to appoint someone to kind of replace that lineage if the seat came open. But he's also said he's not going to kind of put his thumb on the scale in this primary. There's any number of currently serving Black female politicians. One person who we know won't be it is Barbara Lee, as I mentioned. She had sort of been up for it last time around. She was very angry when Gavin said that he would only appoint a caretaker. She sort of felt like it smacked of tokenism. Other names that have been bandied around, the mayors of Los Angeles and San Francisco, Karen Bass, London Breed, those are unlikely because they don't want to give up the jobs they already have. Another name, Shirley Weber, who is the Secretary of State. She's slightly older, and that might work better. But it's really hard to say. This has been an incredibly closely held process. Gavin has really kept his own counsel on it, to our knowledge. And so it's really interesting, and it will be really interesting to see what happens in the days and weeks ahead. Dianne Feinstein was absent for work for a lot of the winter and spring. And this had huge consequences for how quickly Senate Democrats could move bills and nominations to the floor. Leaving that seat open for any extended period of time when the margins in the Senate are very tight, it's 51-49, is pretty untenable for Democrats. So I can't imagine Governor Newsom spending much time sort of thinking about this. He's going to need to appoint someone, if not in days, then in the next week or two.